Welcome to Thriving Talks with Anthony. Today we're going to be having an insightful conversation. Today's conversation is going to be about social media and building a positive online presence and managing stress, right? So when it comes to us in society right now, a lot of us use technology on the daily. We're on these apps and we're using these social media platforms. We're putting out content. We're commenting on content. We're in the mix of all this type of content and we're getting ourselves involved. And I also want to have us really assess, our mental health and how that could be impacting us as well. So I want to develop a healthy, empowering video that is able to get us an understanding on our online presence and understanding in regards to our stress that comes into use when it comes to social media, right? So let's just dive into the video. And there's going to be a lot of great attributes I want you guys to be able to gain. So tune in. So let's talk about why social media matters. So the impact of social media on mental health. Social media is a powerful tool that can be both useful for upliftment and it also could drain us. It connects to entertainment and also could inform. But it also contributes to anxiety and comparison and burnout. So when it comes to research, studies show that overuse of social media is linked to high levels of anxiety, depression, and stress, according to the University of Pennsylvania on a study on social media use. Like I said, there's pros and there's cons, so it could be beneficial to us in a way to educate, give us that upliftment, the information, but it also can be utilized to give us depression, anxiety, and stress when it comes to overuse and not really managing and having that balance. But let's dive into the role of social media in self-expression. So social media provides an outlet for self-expression, creativity, and building communities, but it requires intention to avoid falling into negativity or comparison trap. So we want to make sure that when we're using social media, we're using the online presence and developing our presence, we're being true to ourselves. We're finding things that we're being creative, we're being optimistic, we're, having an open mind. And this also helps us connect to different people as well on these platforms, but also too, it could be traps if we're not being true to ourselves. So really make sure that you're being mindful of your self-expression and the role of social media when you're utilizing that, right? So let's dive into some key strategies for building an online presence so we're mindful about what image and what content we're putting out there, right? So strategy number one is curate your feed mindfully, right? So when we're utilizing social media and we're going through our feeds, I want us to really kind of think about is it filled with positivity, inspiration, and authenticity, or negative in comparison, right? So what are we really seeing? What are we really putting into our mind? So I encourage you guys to follow accounts that are going to be able to uplift, educate, and inspire. If something is making you feel bad about yourself, it's time to unfollow. It's really time to evaluate and make those proper changes. Strategy number two is going to be shared with intent and authenticity. So the content that you're putting out there, does it align with you? So I want you to reflect on your motivations for posting. Are you posting to impress? Are you trying to get a response? You're trying to get attention? Like what are you trying to post? What is the meaning behind it, right? I want you to really think about, is this meaningful? Is this a meaningfulness action? Like, is this really authentic? Is this really you? Like I said, so really be intentional about the content that you're putting out there and what is the reason for that out there. So be really mindful about that. Strategy number three is going to be about engage in positive and being mindful, right? So before you're commenting or before you're reaching out and you're posting stuff, I want you guys to really think about, does this response come from a place of positive and respect? Or is this just some type of negligence? You just try to just being silly, right? So really understanding your impact and the things that you're saying, because it can impact and it can be harmful to someone else. Jokes may be a joke to you, but for someone else, it could be harmful. So really be understanding and really engage into like positive actions and be really being mindful and intentional about, like I said, the things that you're doing and the energy you put out there. So I encourage you guys to be mindful with the approaches towards your comments and towards your interactions. Engage with an empathetic mindset and positively reduce the negative comments, right? And in regards to any type of negative action. And I promote you guys to be more sensitive and supportive when it comes to your online presence in regards to any environment, because everybody out here, let's just be real, we all going through something in some type of way, and I want everybody to have some type of cohesion, that respect, because we all deserve it, right? So really just engage when it comes to being positive, and be mindful about that as well. So let's dive into some managing some stress, some healthy boundaries in regards to social media. Let's just dive into some, like, what things can we really put up, right? So let's just start up with set a time limit. When you're dealing with social media, it's not that you should be getting consistent stress from social media. So you need to set clear boundaries of how much time that you're investing into the social media, into the technology. So really evaluate that. There's some tools and some apps that can really, allow you to, utilize and then set that break, and then put the phone down, and set an accountability thing for that. So really set boundaries around the time that you're on social media and the input, because many times you could be scrolling, and before you know it, 2-3 hours pass by, and it's like, yo, you're really fried. Your mind's fried, your eyes is fried, and you really have negative content in your mind, which is affecting your reality. So I want you guys to set limits. Let's dive into practicing some digital detoxes as well. So I encourage you guys to also take regular breaks from social media, have like a weekend off or hour off from the screen, do some meditation, journaling, really just kind of detox and get away from the technology. This can really help you recharge and reduce that stress as well. So let's talk about mental health check-ins. So I asked you guys too to also have regular check-ins with yourself. You can have the detox as well, but like checking in with yourself, like, how do I feel right now? Really checking in with your emotions. You know what I mean? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling low vibration? Like, after scrolling, really understand like the actions that you do, the things that you're doing, like really be attached and intentional about things that you're doing. So really tune in and have those intentional mental health check-ins with yourself. And adjust when you're dealing with the online and all that type of stuff as well. So move accordingly. So we're going to move into overcoming negative influences on social media. So acknowledge your triggers. So recognize specific content or interactions that cause you stress, that are triggering to you, that give you that anxiety, that give you the feelings of inequity. So I want you guys to really move accordingly. So if you're feeling like this is just, you're getting tired of seeing this thing, this is getting you annoyed, you're getting frustrated, you're getting worked up, start unfollow and get rid of it, you know what I mean? And change things up. Put things that are going to be more enticing, more meaningful, more positive for you, so you're able to, like I said, live a meaningful life, feel good, feel that good vibration. Like, you got to lift yourself up, you know what I mean? The next strategy is going to be, a strategy to overcome. So practice self-compassion and remind yourself, that social media often portrays as unrealistic, things that you may see may not be real. So really understand, like, the strategy to overcome. So protect your mental health by engaging in content that aligns with your values, that brings you joy. Like I said, intentional content, like whatever's giving you joy, whether it be sports, whether it be funny videos, whether it's uplifting your vibe, like, you know what I mean? Stick with it, you know what I mean? And like I said, when it comes to the things that we're seeing on the social media, realize that this is not the day-to-day reality when it comes to life. So make sure that you're kind of keep making sure that your mind is tuned in, you have that good balance. The next is going to refrain from negative thoughts. So like I said earlier about that self-compassion, love yourself, self-care, have that balance, have those breaks, but also to like refrain from negative thoughts when it comes to therapy, CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy, is really just understanding and breaking down those negative thoughts, as we're talking about right now. But really just, if you catch yourself comparing yourself to others, or feeling left out, or just feeling yourself down, to really just think about the thoughts that's really going on. Is this real? Is this helpful? And just really just refrain from negative thoughts, and really focus on gratitude, self-worth, self-love, that self-compassion. So really navigate and try to push yourself more to like that positive side, than rather being kind of stagnant in that negative mindset in regards to the intake of what you're consuming when it comes to social media. So I want to dive into, lastly, some final tips on positive social media experiences. So be intentional about and not reactive towards the things that you may see, and also the energy that you're putting out there. So actively decide how you want to engage online, instead of passively reacting or to notifications or trends. Really just try to be stagnant and be present, and do these breathing exercises as well. You know what I mean? Keep yourself grounded. You know what I mean? Like, not everything you see, you gotta jump and gotta be on that type of timing, or you gotta be so attentive to the phone and stuff like that. So really just be mindful, be intentional, and not too reactive when it comes to the technology and all this social media stuff, you know? Because like I said, this is affecting your stress, anxiety, and depression, and can pull you to the left real quick because it's so convenient. The next tool in regards to our final tips in regards to social media is going to be practice gratitude and self-care. I really encourage us. No one knows you better than anybody else is going to know you. So you really got to put yourself first. Self-reflection is really key. But in regards to, like I said, is that gratitude, love yourself, that self-care, love yourself. And I'll say it again, love yourself. So when it comes to social media, I want you guys to have a moment to reflect. What positive interactions or what inspiration are you getting on the day-to-day when it comes to, you know, these interactions on social media and that online presence, you know? So practice gratitude and anchor yourself into positive aspects about yourself, and when it comes to your online presence. So the way that you see yourself, you love yourself, you know, put that energy out there, and have that gratitude and really take care of yourself. The next is going to be stay authentic and kind, right? So remember your online presence to reflect who you really truly are. You know what I mean? Your authentic self. You know what I mean? So stay authentic, stay kind, and stay compassionate, both for yourself and for others. And you know, the energy that you put out there is going to come back. But like I said, you got to make sure that you maintain yourself. And let's just be real. When it comes to the kids, when it comes to people out there, like, we recognize real. Like, you can't sit there and fake the energy. So it's really just, like I said, make sure you stay authentic and kind. I really just want to just make sure that you guys understand, like, you know, the energy that we put out there, like I said again, and the impact of the things that you do right now could also harm us on the flip side. I want to really kind of get to the nitty gritty about that. So really understand that it's not end all be all. The person that you are today could be different years tomorrow or years later, whatever, maybe, like, whatever you make that change, you're going to go through that process. But I really want you guys to understand that overall, just be authentic, be your true self, and really be intentional about what you're doing, right? So slow it down, have the balance, you know, have your boundaries, understand the energy and the pictures and the things that you're doing, the content that you're consuming, and overall, put yourself first, love yourself, have that compassion, and have a really balance when it comes to the social media and your online presence, right? So hopefully you guys like this video. You found some good information you guys could be able to utilize for yourself. Tune in on the next video, more intentional content. Thank you for thriving with me. Take it easy.